So you just got your real estate license and now you need a broker to make it all official. But which one's right for you? Coming up.
I'm buzzing, let's drink up. Your death look like big fun. Come on, let's get it on. Like that Marvin Gaye song. I'm stunning, you love it. Come on, give me something. I know that you want it. Come on, give me something. The night is young and so are we.
Hey guys, welcome to My Agent Jonathan. I'm Jonathan, your South Florida real estate agent, and today we're talking about choosing a brokerage. So you just got your pre-licensing or you just applied for licensing. As soon as you do, you're going to start getting emails and phone calls from brokerages that want to recruit you, that want to hire you, and you're going to feel like a big deal. And you're going to get even more phone calls and emails once you pass your state exam. You're going to feel like an even bigger deal, and you should, because that was a hard test. So which brokerage is right for you? Everybody wants to get at you. Everybody wants you to join their team, hoping that you become their next top producing agent. So you passed your state exam and you're ready to start selling, right? Not quite. In the state of Florida, you need to sign with a brokerage for your license to be active, or as they say in the business, hang your license somewhere. Now, once that's done, you've passed your state exam, in addition to all the calls you're going to get from various brokerages, you're also going to get calls from title companies, lenders, and also real estate lawyers wanting to partner with you so that you be their preferred lender or preferred partner when you are conducting transactions. A lot of them will do calls over the phone, they'll do it over Zoom, they'll do face-to-face, meet in their office, and then my personal favorite, they just take you out to eat for lunch or dinner or something like that, trying to swoon you into, partnering with them. And it's not a bad thing, but it's the business, and welcome to it. While it's widely known that new licensees will tend to bounce around brokerages for the first year, I'm going to give you some tips so you know what to look for in a brokerage to make sure you're setting yourself up for the career that you really want. So the first thing you want to ask yourself when you're choosing a brokerage is, what type of person are you? What's your learning style? You see, the real estate school was amazing, and congratulations on getting your license, but they taught you the laws, the procedures, they taught you vocabulary, things like that. What real estate school doesn't teach you is how to sell real estate. That's done by your brokerage. So it's very important that you are with a brokerage that gives you the type of learning and learning style that is best for you. So just as that broker, lender, real estate lawyer, or someone else is selling themselves and their service to you so that you join them, you also need to be interviewing them to make sure that they're a perfect fit for you. So while you're on that phone call, Zoom call, or hopefully lunch that you didn't have to pay for, here's some questions that you should be asking. Some real estate companies, especially the larger ones like Douglas Elliman, Compass, they have teams within their brokerage. Find out if you're going to be working directly under the broker or within a team. This is going to play a huge role in your earnings and also your workload. The next thing you want to ask is about the fees. Now, fees are probably going to be a part of the broker's presentation to you, but you want to make sure that everything is touched on, and so here's a list of things to make sure you look out for. Number one is the desk fees. Now, most brokerages don't use desk fees anymore. It's kind of the price to have a desk in their office, but most people are remote anyways. And so that's probably not going to be there, but if it is there, you need to know how much it is. The next thing are transaction fees. Now, there's two ways of looking at transaction fees: the transaction fees to you and the transaction fees to your client. We're going to start with the transaction fees for you. Some brokerages charge a transaction fee per transaction. Now, this fee is there to cover office supplies, error emissions. Error emissions is an insurance that the brokerage has that covers the any mistakes that you may make or within their agency. There's a special insurance for that, and that helps to pay for that premium. Now, that transaction fee can be charged to you per transaction. Like every time you close a deal, they take away this much money from it. It can be charged on a yearly basis, like a one-time fee that covers you for the whole year. But that transaction fee to you, the agent, is not a part of the split that the brokerage would get from each of your deals. So that's in addition to that. The other part of the transaction fee is for the buyer and seller side. Now, if you're listing a property for a client, if you are helping a client find a property, on the day of closing, some brokerages have an additional fee for transaction fee, or they can call it a processing fee. You need to know how much this is, because if you're the type of person who has a hard time with, breaking bad news or telling your client, hey, I need you to cough up some more money, or letting them know that they owe this, maybe that's not the brokerage for you. Maybe real estate's not for you, but you need to know that, there is also fees. So you want all of the fees, not just the fees to you, but the fees that you are going to have to charge to your clients. The next thing you want to ask are about the lead generation. What is the brokerage currently using for lead generation? Some brokerages aren't doing anything, and they're on your own. And some of them are using old school paper flyers and postcards. Hey, everything works, but let's talk about, the percentage that it actually does work. And if that percentage or that method that they are giving you, or they may even charge you for, is that going to be good enough for you to go in your career the way you want it to go, right? Maybe passing out flyers and sticking them on people's cars in the Walmart parking lot is not what you want to do, trying to sell a $5 million property, if that's the goal for your career. Also talk about what does the brokerage give you? Do they give you business cards, or do you have to pay for them yourself? Do they give you an email address, or do you have to start your own? Do they give you a website, or do you have to start your own? I know that it's attractive to have a brokerage pay for all of these marketing materials for you, providing the email address, the phone number, all that stuff. I understand that. But in the long run, it's better for you to do it yourself. And the reason being is that you are the company. Yes, you work under a broker because legally you have to, but you are the company. You must sell yourself. That is what you're doing. And so if you can make your own email address, if you can make your own website and things like that, as much as you can personalize it, the more that you are building a brand. And honestly, in the long run, a brand is what will stand, not just Jonathan the worker. No, it's the brand, right? So that is why you want to find out about things. If there are costs to any of those things, hey, take note of them, add them up when you get home, and decide, hey, is this a place that I want? Next thing you want to ask for is the commission split for your leads. What is the commission split? Remember, no commission is ever set. Everything is negotiable, even if your broker says, hey, this is what I give all of my agents when we start out. That's fine, but this is what I want. So don't be afraid to negotiate there. Find out what the commission split is for leads that you generate yourself. And then there are leads that are generated through the brokerage. And what is the split for there? Because oftentimes that's a larger amount to the brokerage because they are the ones that brought the customer in and you are the one handling the transaction. So they usually get a higher split for leads that they generate versus ones that you generate yourself and you are transacting the deal through the brokerage. Does that make sense? So maybe you're doing let's say 70% to you, 30% to the brokerage on a normal deal. And then if the lead comes in from the brokerage, maybe the brokerage gets 50% and you get 50%. You see how that works? So find out about the splits for commission on leads that you generate and commission the leads that the brokerage generates. And then find out if they do rentals. You'd be very surprised at how many real estate brokerages do not do rentals. And understandably so. Being in the business, I can tell you rentals are Sorry guys, I'm currently in Bogota, Colombia, and I'm trying to record this in between quiet sessions, but there are no quiet sessions, so I hope you can hear me. Anyways, I understand brokerages that don't want to do rentals. They are almost just as much work, if not sometimes more work than a purchase, and they don't pay nearly as much. Thankfully, Florida has some of, in my opinion, the best practices for commission for on rentals. You can make money, so it's not like my sister-in-law is in Virginia, and I think some places there that's like a flat rate, like $50, $100. It's like nothing. So find out what if they do rentals. Don't shy away from rentals either, because as a newly licensee, rentals are probably one of the best ways for you to be able to do a transaction from beginning to end. It may be hard for you to find somebody who wants to buy something and the right timing and qualifications and all that stuff that leads up to them actually doing it, and then the closing process and the time you have to wait and the pre-approval and the final approval. But if you find someone who just wants to rent, and there are tons of people out there who just want to rent, you can pick up one of those clients pretty quickly and you can see that process through. So don't shy away from rentals, and make sure that your brokerage, if that's what you desire to do, wants to do them. And a lot of people start out doing it and they don't want to do them anymore. That's totally fine, but you need to know if that option is even available to you. My next suggestion is to take note of the type of properties that particular brokerage specializes in, and make sure that that aligns with your personal desires for your career. Maybe you like selling 500 square foot cabins in the mountains, and the interview that you're having with this brokerage, they specialize in multi-million-dollar condos on the beach. Not the same thing. Even though they could sell with this brokerage, you could sell your cabin, the expectation that you would be selling million-dollar condos on the beach would be there, right? So make sure that that aligns. The other thing I want to say, though, is being with a large and well-known brokerage does not guarantee that you'll be successful in real estate. At the end of the day, people are paying and buying you. You are selling yourself. So the name attached to your license, your license, or the brokerage attached to your license, maybe it has familiarity, maybe there's a level of comfort there too, but you could be Joe Schmo's real estate company and do a better job than a guy with Compass behind its name, right? Because it's about you. So don't get discouraged if you decide that you want to sign up with a smaller company. You can sell whatever you want. Your license is for the state. You can sell wherever you want. And my last bit of advice for you is to choose a brokerage that reflects the direction you want to go in your career. This goes for choosing a brokerage and a mentor, whether that mentor is provided by your brokerage or you hire them on your own. Make sure that someone who's doing what you wish you were doing in like 5 and 10 years, closing the type of deals that you want to be closing in 5 and 10 years. If you want to do $1 million plus properties, maybe a brokerage that thinks that a $400,000 deal is like the biggest deal in the world, right? That's not going to challenge you to go to the next level. In fact, that actually happened to me. I was interviewing with a broker that told me that I was not going to be allowed to show any properties that were $500,000 without someone else being there, which I was like, why? They didn't know that I had actually already been shadowing a friend of mine, showing properties that were no less than $1.5 million. So I was like, 500 is nothing, right? And so that for me told me that, hey, this brokerage is probably not for me. And then I went to a brokerage that's doing, $2 and $3 and $5 million deals, because that's normal for them, and that's mentally where I wanted to be. Remember, everybody has a starting point, right? Everything has a starting place. But who's to say that you can't start on $1 million property? Who's to say that you can't start on multifamily? Who's to say that you can't start on commercial? If that's where you want to go, just go. There is no, well, let me just sell trailers and then I'll go sell single families and then I'll go sell, single families with 2 stories and then maybe I'll go, like, no, you don't have time for that. If you want this particular life, if you want to sell luxury real estate, just go into luxury real estate. There are brokerages that will hire you being new and say, hey, this, you want to learn this? We'll take you on and we will teach you how to do this. Same thing with commercial real estate. There is no separate license, at least in Florida, for commercial real estate. You just have to be with a brokerage that's willing to train you on commercial real estate. It's an incredible, incredible career. A lot of work, but so rewarding, so flashy. Every day is not like selling sunset, but it can be. So thank you guys so much for watching. Listen, if you're looking to buy or sell in the South Florida market, hey, I'm your agent. My phone number is on the screen, or you can email me at myagentjonathan@gmail.com. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.